All right, so Historic Anthology 5 is coming. For people that are new to Historic or Magic Arena and aren't quite familiar, one of the things Historic does is that instead of just having new cards added to it from standard legal sets, we also back add cards via these historic anthologies and mystical archives and all sorts of other things to get cards into the format in the reverse direction from Magic's history, thus the name Historic. So Ojutai's commands here. This is a sweet one. So we got commands from Strixhaven. The 5 commands in Strixhaven were actually completing a cycle. We had the other 5 already, and Ojutai's command is one of this 5. So choose 2, return target creature card with converted mana cost value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. You gain 4 life, counter target creature spell, draw a card. So not quite cryptic command, but a little bit easier to cast in 2 colors if you're not mostly in blue. This is a card that plays well with creatures. This card could be really sweet with something like Young Pyromancer, for example, or maybe a Jeskai Arcanist deck could be a direction that you want to go. Or maybe you get really crazy and play like a 4-color Arcanist deck. This Historic Anthology, yes, is releasing on May 27th, and the next open will be May 30th. So if you're someone who's interested in playing in our next tournament where these cards will be legal, May 30th, 3 days after these release, we'll be getting these. Now it is some people noting too, so this is a card from Pioneer. So we were going to get this at some point eventually. I'm glad they're not making us wait for this one. This is a sweet design, and I'm glad that this is getting added into the format sooner rather than later, because if they were just going backwards in order, it was going to be a while before we got to cons. Thanks for the 7 months, Captain Nemo. Ooh, yeah, it gets back Fairy Dragon, too. Fairy Dragon's a good observation. I wonder if we'll get the whole cycle, because like Kolaghan's command would be super playable, and Jamoka's command. We're actually going to play Abzan 1/1 counters after this. Jamoka's command's a card I've found myself wanting a few times in Historic. This is a new card to the set. Trash for treasure, sacrifice artifact, return an artifact from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, what's the scariest thing we can do with this? What are the biggest artifacts in the format? Citadel, Platinum Angel, God Pharaoh's Gift. Yeah, maybe there's a red God Pharaoh's Gift deck. Yeah, I can see these being God Pharaoh's Gift card. It's worth noting this was downshifted in rarity too. A lot of people complained rightfully that they upshifted cards in the Mystical Archives. This was originally a rare inside of Mirrodin. This is downshifted to uncommon here. It looks like for the new set. Or is this not the icon? Oh, was this already downshifted previously? This might have been downshifted somewhere else. I actually don't know what the set icon is from, because these have the original set icons on them. It was Double Masters was downshifted in. Okay. Ancient Grudge. Sure. I don't know that the format for Historic is in a spot where Ancient Grudge is better than things like Abrade and Prismari Command, other more flexible answers. There aren't really like dedicated artifact decks in the format. But, this is a card that I think in general is good to have in a format like Historic. Yeah, this is a safety valve style card. This card exists so we can be a little bit more aggressive about the types of artifacts we add to the format down the line. So this is super reasonable in terms of that. And Ray of Revelation, sure, very similar effect. I like printing these in a pair. So destroy artifacts, destroy enchantments. Seems reasonable. Sure, yeah, they're giving us trash for treasure, right? So like, if this is a way to get artifacts into play down the line, for Growl Mirror Matches. Now, I think this card, like I said, unless the historic format changes dramatically, I think this is probably much worse than playing something like a Braid right now. But that won't always be true necessarily. So I like this addition to the format, even if it's probably not immediately something that you're going to play. This card being something that you have access to is fine. Sure, yeah. If you have like a self mill deck that cares about artifacts or enchantments, you could like play these cards. So you could like draw spells out of your graveyard, basically. Yeah, these are also cards that'll probably be good additions for Cube. Seems like reasonable inclusions as well. Are these the only ones we have so far? We don't have a spoiler cycle. We don't have like an official. Yeah, so they're not posting all of the cards from the. Oh yeah, we technically got two in the original one, right? How do you spell it? It's Vorin. We got the original Vornclex, right? MTGA zone. Okay, perfect. They don't have the other ones yet. So Vornclex, when you tap a land for mana, add an additional mana of that type. This is probably a historic brawl card, so I don't think that that's going to be particularly playable. Whirler Rogue might do something. Whirler Rogue is like low key, very reasonable. It's like 4 power for 4 mana across 3 bodies. Two of those bodies are evasive on their own, and they like enable you to make a large threat that you have in play potentially unblockable. So I could see this card potentially seeing play inside of a shell. I don't know that it slots into any existing shells necessarily, but it could slot into some other new style of deck. Yeah, this is a card that makes artifacts that are potentially good with Trash for Treasure. Whirler Rogue's good with Ephemerate. That's a good observation. So this is a card that's super reasonable to blink with. Ooh, yeah, this would be a neat card to emerge Elder Deep Fiend off of at some point too, which would be great. Yeah, sure, sweet, I like it. All right, let's shift back in, play our third deck of the day.